Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back for some more hardcore hogging tips from here in the famous Intuitive Angling Tackle Room. Much appreciate you guys taking a little time out of your day to watch the video. And today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects in bass fishing, and that is spooking bass, or how not to spook bass, or how you spook bass. So I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts, sort of some of my experiences, what I've seen over fishing for over 50 years. It might help you guys be a little more stealthy out there. Real quick before we get started here, just want to remind you guys, if you haven't had a chance to hit that subscribe button, that'd be much appreciated. And also, if you guys are looking for some of the Intuitive Angling merchandise, you can check that out at the homepage of my YouTube channel. I got a bunch of t-shirts and coffee cups and all that type of stuff, and it's a good way to support the channel. Much appreciated there. Okay, let's talk a little bit about spooking bass. One of the things that I've noticed about a lot of bass anglers, and anglers on a lot of different skill levels, but particularly guys that are starting out or sort of like average anglers, that type of stuff, is they don't have much of a sense of awareness for stealth and not spooking fish or knowing what spooks fish, that type of stuff. But guys, bass are extremely aware of their environment, and they're extremely spooky at times. A lot of people, I hear a lot of people out there that just demean bass for saying they got small brains, and they don't give them the credit they deserve for as smart as they really are. Guys, bass have been on this planet way longer than humans have, and they've survived for millions of years, and they weren't stupid doing that. So from that standpoint there, you got to give them credit for being survivalists like they are. But what I want to do is I sort of want to give you some things that you can do it's going to help you catch more bass, because you can be a little bit more stealthy. The first thing you have to do, let's talk a little bit about your in the boat movements. A lot of people can't keep their mouth shut when they're fishing. I see it all the time out there about people that are just talking and they're loud. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys have been in the boat with a talker before. They just won't shut up. Voice carries across the cove, and they think it doesn't matter. Guys, it matters. Bass are aware of that. They can sense that. They can hear that. They can sense the vibration. First thing you can do out there is stop talking. Just be quiet. You don't need to be talking out there. Focus on enjoying nature. Focus on your fishing. Get focused and be in the moment for what you're doing there. It's hard to concentrate 100% on your fishing when you're talking at the same time. So first thing I would suggest is just stop talking. Second thing, we talked a lot about this as far as your in the boat movements. One of the big piece of advice I'll give you guys is take your shoes off. Fish barefoot in the boat or in socks. I hear it all the time. So guys say, oh, that's a good way to get your hook in your foot, all that type of stuff. Guys, I've done this for over 50 years. I've never got one single hook in my foot fishing barefoot. So that's a pretty good record for me thinking that's not a valid reason. If you learn to fish in your sock feet and your bare feet, you're 90% more quiet in the boat. Not only you're more quiet, you're more agile. You're lighter on your feet. You can run your trolling motor better. You have more freedom of moving on your trolling motor. It's just it's a more stealthy way to do it. But the main thing is, like when you're stepping in a boat, your steps are lighter and they're more quieter. So the combination of not talking and wearing bare feet or sock feet is going to help you out quite a bit there. It cracks me up to see a lot of these guys wearing big hunting boots and stuff like that in a bass boat, just big clod hoppers that are noisy. You don't need to do that. Try to get stealthy a little bit. Next thing you have to do on that is when you got to be very aware of setting stuff down, because I see people that when they lift the lids up on their rod lockers or on a storage compartment, they're banging and clanging tackle boxes around. They get a lure out and they chunk their box back in the storage. Super loud. Guys, bass can hear that. Bass can hear that through the hole and through the water. So when you're getting stuff in and out of your storage compartments, be quiet. Take your time. Go slow placing them down in there. That's going to help you out quite a bit. Next thing is we'll talk about trolling motor noise. Trolling motor, guys, in my opinion, trolling motor and electronics are probably two of the top things that spook bass. You got to realize one thing about bass is that when they're hatched out, from the moment that they're hatched out, they hear outboard motors and they hear trolling motor noises and they hear pings off electronics. That's part of their environment. So they have evolved to the fact where they get more active or less active based upon that noise decibel level. Just the same as the cold front coming through. The boat noise and electronic noise is the new cold front situation to a bass. So they can detect that. And through the evolutionary process, they know to sort of shut down when they hear excess trolling motor noise or big motor noise or electronic noise. So the thing that you want to do, let's start out with your trolling motor. First of all, turn your speed down. Just put the speed at the absolute bare minimum that you need to have it on to fish efficiently in the wind or the current. Turn it way down. A lot of guys, I see guys out there, they put the trolling motor on 7 or 8 and they go zzz, 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 you know, on and off all the time. Don't do that, because every time you make that big whirling sound with your trolling motor, those bass can hear it from 100 yards away. Be real quiet with that. Also, by doing that is don't go on and off a lot. Try to keep your trolling motor on at a constant speed. And by gauging the current and the wind and the speed that you're working down a bank, turn your trolling motor down low enough where you can keep your foot on it, where you don't have to take it on and off. I've talked to several divers, and they say that it's not necessarily the trolling motor noise that spooks a bass, but it's when you go on and off with the trolling motor. It's like when you take your foot off and put it back on, that's when they notice the bass reacting to that. Same thing with your electronics, guys. Your electronics send out a pinging. If you guys have put your head over in the water and listen to it, it's super loud. If you don't need your electronics, turn those off. I always turn mine off in shallow water. I know a lot of guys in deep water even turn them off too. So just run your electronics at a bare minimum. And the same, you know, with your outboards. I think really outboards have the least amount of effect on bass on spooking bass, because I've caught bass in areas where I've made a wheelie or something like that, trying to churn up some mud and caught fish in them. I think there's something about an outboard motor noise that the fish are so used to it from motors on a lake that they have adapted to it, and it doesn't affect them as much as the other thing. So anyway, guys, that's just a few tips. I promise it'll help you guys catch more fish. Try to be more stealthy, be more quiet. Try to condition yourself to stop talking so much in the boat. Take those shoes off. You're not going to get any hooks in your feet. Just be aware where you're stepping at. It's no big deal. And I think it's going to add up to some more bass for you guys if you try this. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. We'll check in later. See you.